Welcome in, everyone. We have some big news coming out of Russia, Ukraine, and the war as it continues to rage. Russia has taken several significant blows in the recent 48 to 72 hours as diplomacy has completely failed. Peace talks have completely failed. And now the war is raging more than it ever has before. It strikes deep inside Russia, continue to obliterate energy infrastructure, oil infrastructure, and try to apply as much pain and pressure to the Putin regime as they possibly can to try to get them back to the negotiating table. So I'm going to cover exactly what's going on. We got a ton of war footage to go over, a ton of bombing footage to go over, as well as the news report of what happened. Before we get into it, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free, cost you guys absolutely nothing at all. Huge boost to the channel. Comment with your thoughts below. What do you think of the situation? How do you want to see the war end? Do you think the war will end? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that notifications bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a single thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. My DMs are wide open. Please shoot me any tips you have or just come out and say hello. I love talking with you guys. You are great. Now let's get into it. I hate to say it, because I don't like being right about these things. I think it's bad when wars escalate and the death and destruction gets worse and worse and worse. But I told everyone a few weeks ago, as the peace talks started to unfold, that they were never going to work, that Russia was not actually being legitimate with what it wanted. What it was doing was pretty much trying to just buy time. President Trump was debating whether or not to give cruise missiles to the Ukrainians. There was a meeting at the White House with Zelensky. Ultimately, he made the decision that they weren't going to give them cruise missiles, but they were going to sell them surface-to-air missiles. At the same time, the British did give Ukraine missiles, and then Ukraine has developed its own Flamingo cruise missile, which I think weighs about 3,000 pounds, but they can only make 3 or 4 a day. So they have limited quantities of them, but it is an incredibly powerful cruise missile with great range. Very powerful offensive weapon. So the Russians are scrambling. The Russians are panicking. They are making all sorts of threats. They're claiming that the United States is already at war with them. But one big thing the United States is doing, and the President Donald Trump's administration is doing, is assisting the Ukrainians in carrying out strikes deep inside Russia. With what goal? We've talked about this before. What is the goal? The goal is to blow up as many oil refineries, oil infrastructure, energy infrastructure that they possibly can, for one simple reason. Putin gets his money that way. If you don't have money, you can't fight a war. The Russian economy, while insulated to some degree from sanctions, is not doing great. It is 100% reliant at this point on the war effort. If the war stops, the economy collapses, which is one of the reasons Putin probably doesn't want to stop the war. Well, let me throw this up on the screen for you. This comes from Reuters. I'm filming this on Saturday, October 25th, so all information is up to date as of October 25th. It says Russia's fourth largest oil refinery, the Ryazan plant located southeast of Moscow, halted a primary crude distillation unit on Wednesday following a Ukrainian drone attack, 2 industry sources told Reuters on Friday. Ukraine has stepped up its attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure as peace talks mediated by U.S. President Donald Trump have not progressed. Such attacks have been behind motor fuel shortages across several regions in Russia, local authorities said. Ukraine's general staff said on Thursday that Kiev's forces had struck the Ryazan oil refinery. The industry sources in Russia told Reuters the CDU-4 processing unit was urgently halted on Thursday after it caught fire following a drone attack. The unit's capacity stands at 4 million metric tons a year, or 80,000 barrels a day, accounting for around a quarter of the plant's total capacity. Oil company Rosneft, which owns the refinery, did not respond to a request for comment. The sources said the plant is still processing oil, but at a reduced volume. One of the sources said adjacent units were also halted, including a reformer, vacuum, gasoline, hydrotreater, and Cadillac cracker. The refinery processed 3.1 million tons of crude in 2024, producing 2.3 million tons of gasoline, 3.4 million tons of diesel, and 4.2 million tons of fuel oil. So the Russians have taken a massive hit. And this right here, I'm going to throw this up on the screen. So this says Ukraine's drone attack on Russia's Rosin oil refinery this week knocked out a quarter of the plant's total capacity, over 80,000 barrels a day. The Ukrainian drone successfully hit the refinery CDU-4 unit, forcing a shutdown. So let's go full screen. And you can see it burning there. A massive, massive, massive fireball. And this is what the Ukrainians want to do. The Ukrainians want to apply as much pressure by hitting these refineries, hitting these infrastructure, energy infrastructure. If they can cut off the money, they can do significant damage to Russia, and that is exactly what is happening right now. However, that is not the only one that has happened. Put this up on the screen. This says, as the U.S. placed economic sanctions on Russia's Rosneft oil company yesterday, Ukraine put together a kinetic sanctions package. Seen here, Russia's Rosneft Ryazan oil refinery, one of the largest in the country, burns after an overnight Ukraine drone attack. So this is a different angle. We'll go full screen for you. I mean, you can just see it's engulfed. It's engulfed in flames, completely burned. I mean, the level of destruction of these drone strikes is nothing short of absolute insanity. And then here's another one you guys might like. Let me make sure this is up on the screen for you. Oops, hold on. We'll read it first. My bad. Ukrainian attack drones penetrated 1,000 miles of Russian airspace tonight and successfully hit the plastmass explosives plant. Seen here, a Ukrainian attack drone slams into the plant, causing a massive explosion. See, you can see it in the distance. Massive, massive fireball again. I mean, that explosion is huge. That explosion is absolutely massive. Let's watch it again. You're probably 10 miles away with this camera, minimum, maybe 15 miles away. And look at the size of that fireball. Just absolute obliteration. Then, not done yet. Ukrainian attack drones successfully penetrated over 1,200 kilometers of Russian airspace overnight, successfully striking the Dagnata oil refinery. Seen here, a Ukrainian attack drone slams into the refinery complex on the Caspian Sea. Let's go full screen for you. Boom. Guys, I want to make the point here. Russian air defenses are so weak that we have drones flying over 1,000 kilometers into Russia, just annihilating things. It's a reminder that Russia likes to talk tough about how their military is equal to the United States. Their military is every bit as good as the United States. You couldn't do this in the United States. We would have fighter jets in the air. We'd have surface-to-air missiles going active. We would have shit unleashing if you tried this here. It wouldn't work. We're also surrounded by two big, beautiful oceans that make it way more difficult to pull this stuff off here. But our air defenses would hold strong. That much I can guarantee you. But we're not done yet. There's more attack footage. So this says footage of Ukrainian anti-aircraft gun, likely a Gepard SPAAG, knocking down a Russian Shahid attack drone earlier this week. Keep watching. So again, I'll pull this off the screen. Russia is getting hit after hit after hit after hit. Their air defenses, quite frankly, are terrible. And Ukraine, while still brutally trying to fight it out on the ground, where the lines are semi-frozen, Russia, to be fair and to be honest, continues to take a little bit of land here and there, but at great cost. The fronts are more or less stabilized. And now this has become a missile war, a drone war, which is just inflicting insane and tragic amounts of violence and damage. Russia has got a major problem. If they can't stop the drones, they damn sure won't be able to stop the cruise missiles. That's just a fact. That is just the fact of the matter. And right now, drones are lighting them up, defeating their air defenses, going over 1,000 kilometers, 1,200 kilometers into Russian territory. It's beyond humiliating for the Russians. It's a reminder that the Russians, while they have a lot of manpower and they have an industrial capacity to manufacture arms, manufacture artillery, tanks, things of that nature, they don't even have the ability to control their own airspace. And neither do the Ukrainians. Ukrainian airspace is wide open, and Russia's throwing stuff at them constantly. But Ukraine is not some big military power. Russia's supposed to be some big military power. And it's not going too great for them right now. So you are going to see more and more and more and more of this. We are at the beginning of this phase of the war, certainly not the end. There's going to be no peace deal. There's going to be no ceasefire in the near future. We might get it eventually, but it ain't happening now. You are going to see more and more strikes, more and more violence. That's just the reality of the situation. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. How do you think this war is going to end? Do you think there is a deal that can be reached, or will the strikes continue? Please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys absolutely nothing at all. Hit that bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me. My DMs are wide open. Send me any tips you got, or just reach out and say hello. I'll see you all next time.